Hello, it's Nikki. Welcome to a brand new week. I am so delighted that you are here with me. Thank you as always. And today I have a 5-part series for you this week. And I'm just playing around with this idea at the moment of bringing some storytelling and some themes and some more sort of frameworks into my content and seeing how that looks and feels. So, I'm really excited to delve into this today. And as always, they're usually coming from something that's going on in my business, something that I'm thinking about, something that's on my mind. So last week I shared with you that I've gone back to hot yoga and it's amazing. And I knew that it would be, but I resisted it, you know. We resist all of these things, and it got to the point where I was just asking myself, what am I waiting for? Seriously, what am I waiting for? And I just did it. And my mum was talking to me about it, and she was saying, why does it work for you? And one of the things that I really notice is, and this is not an ad, definitely not, this is why I'm not mentioning the place, but they have an app. And that is really useful for me because I can just book my classes and then you're in and you get the reminder and then you have to go and you do the thing. And if you keep booking the classes, then you keep going and you get your money's worth and so many other benefits. But one thing that I've really recognized is just from doing a week of yoga and beginning a new practice again, I've already began to feel the shifts. However, I've already begun to notice, I'm using my words very carefully here, but I'm going to say it how I feel, where I'm behind, which is completely untrue because nobody's behind. But because I haven't been in a regular practice for so long, I didn't quite realize what was going on with my body. As in, wow, like the first session that I did, I felt all of my 40 years and more. I didn't realize how rusty and tight my hips had become. And I've realized throughout this that I'm going to have to be patient with myself. It's going to take some time to find a flow and to find some ease with it. And if you're familiar with a yoga practice, if you can imagine the position of downward facing dog, which is basically when you're on all fours, but your bum's in the air and your feet are flat. There's this moment in the yoga practice where the teacher will say, and raise one leg up into the air and place the foot between the hands. And when I was noticing those around me, the amount of people who just effortlessly breathe in and breathe out and place the foot down, like it's nothing, I was flabbergasted because what I would notice was I would put my leg into the air and then I'd go, and just almost, and it just felt so counter intuitive because I was like, why? I've got to crank this leg through. It felt like I was shoving something through a doorway. Or you know when they did a documentary on Channel 4 about my big fat gypsy wedding, and those dresses were so enormous that a couple of bridesmaids would like have to shove them into the carriage and shove their dress in as well with some gusto. That's how I felt with my leg. There was nothing glamorous. There was nothing elegant about it. And I was talking to the teacher afterwards and she was really helpful and she gave me a couple of little shifts and tweaks and things that I could do. And she said to me, has anything changed since you last practiced? And I said, I've done the odd class here, there and everywhere. And she then looked at me and she said, no, like seriously, regularly practiced. And I said, no. And then I stopped myself and I said, oh yeah, I had a second baby. And she said, well, that your body will have changed. And sometimes it's just recognizing in the moment. And I guess that's the first thing that I want to say is that your business, your life, your lifestyle, your mental health, the way that you think about things is probably changing all the time. So we have to give that time and space to really recognize what is going on right now. And this week, what I want to do is to give you a series of questions to think about. Now, I know lots of people who are out there want to give you the next best thing, the greatest thing, the thing that's going to change everything. And usually that comes with a hefty price tag, a jazzy contact page, and sometimes it's just hot air. It's the same stuff, but with some kind of big booming soundtrack in the background. And if I go back to yoga, like, even if somebody said, Nikki, what you need to do that forward stretchy thing is a brand new leg with some really bendy hips. Like, I can't get, there's that thing, isn't it? Like, as much as you can get frustrated with your body sometimes, my goodness me, you have to be grateful for what you have. I am so, so lucky to have a healthy body. That's not to say that my relationship with my body has not always been positive. But in that scenario, the jazzy new leg is not the answer. And what the answer will be is patience, tweaking, adjustments, support, patience, kindness, etc. And I want to say this in terms of your business, that finding those tweaks, finding those little shifts will start to change your business. And I know that that isn't always the jazzy work, because sometimes these shifts and those things that we're doing, they get no recognition, or nobody around us might even know that we're doing it. But once those results start to come, that's when people will start to notice. So I know sometimes people will go, I'm going to have a brand new branding shoot, or I'm going to build a website and add some new colors, and they get that instant recognition. And yes, of course, those things are really good to have and to keep things fresh and updated and things like that. But this is going to be a different way of working. So there's going to be a question each and every day this week. And you can take this to your journal, you can take it on a walk, you can do whatever you want to do with them. Or you can just ponder them while you make a cup of tea, or just ask yourself and just see what comes up. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no quick fix solution to these, but it's just interesting to see what arrives. And when I've done this exercise, it's really interesting. Today's question is, where are you being dishonest? And this dishonest element doesn't have to be a big, dark, angry lie, or anything like that. It can sometimes be something that you say that doesn't belong to you, or you are giving a response that is actually not accurate, or you are saying that you're not sure or you don't know, but you do. You absolutely do. And I invite you today to check in with that and make sure what you're saying and what you're feeling and where you're moving and how you're executing and how you're communicating and how you're being is in line with your truth. And this might feel like a big old question for a Monday morning, but it's one that's interesting to explore. So I'll give you an example. There have been so many times where I haven't been clear with my communication with myself. I haven't given myself that time to be in clarity. I've got comfortable with being in a spiral of, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I'm going along. Do you remember there was a bit of a trend on Instagram as well where people used to say they were winging it? Oh, I'm winging it. I just don't know. And if I go to parenting, for example, I would never profess to know all of the answers. Like, I am not a parenting expert, but nearly 7 years in, I am a parenting expert in my own home, as in, I know that whatever happens, and if my children need me or need something, me or Matt, my partner, are probably the best people for the job because we know them, we understand them, we know what they're all about. We know that 5 to 5 moment, if, dinner is not in the oven, where we look at each other and go, oh, right, okay, food, let's get going. Okay, we've got to move things on. We understand that. And I think sometimes we can be cautious about saying that we know everything. There are so many conversations about imposter syndrome. I've done talks on them, for goodness sake. Imposter syndrome, not feeling good enough, etc. But what about those moments in the day where you do feel in control, where you do know what you're doing, where you have practiced that habit or that routine or that skill, and you are accomplished at it? That's what I'm interested in. Of course, there are going to be so many areas in life and business where I'm not competent or I don't know the answers, but there is a lot of stuff that I do know. And so today I want you to see what comes up with this question and how you're answering things. Now, of course, this is about being appropriate as well and not oversharing or not breaking any boundaries for yourself. And so that moment where I might say to a mum on the school run, she might say, how's business going? And I'm not going to say, well, I've signed 5 new clients this week, and these were the podcast stats, and these are the speaking gigs that I'm doing, and this is how this audition went well, because frankly, that is too much. But instead of falling into the trap of like, oh, Easter holidays, the juggle, the this, the that, da, I can choose to say, fine, thank you. I'm really enjoying it. Or I can say something positive. And so I can keep that flow going on with my business. And yes, of course, to go back, the Easter holidays is a juggle. And all my child wants to do is to play football in the living room. And for all number of reasons, that doesn't work for any of us. But to be in that moment of possibility, of opening up, of considering how things could be, that is going to be a much more helpful response. I really hope you got something from this today. If you did, do let me know. Email me, hello@nikkiraby.com, and let me know what came up for you. As always, I will be back tomorrow with another question, but it's a juicy one. See where it lands today. Revisit it, write them down. If you want to bring them all to your Friday or take them to your journal, they are yours. So use them as and how you wish. All right, I'm sending lots of love and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye.